Clear a few minutes, because Courtney Thorne-Smith's new photo series is the kind of reveal that stops a scroll cold. From the opening frame, you're pulled into a quietly daring showcase of presence and poise, and the best surprises land at the end, so don't skip a beat. First, a sunlit courtyard. Courtney stands in a liquid satin slip with a sky-high slit, the neckline a soft plunge that traces her collarbones and frames a strong, sculpted chest. Spaghetti straps rest lightly on her shoulders while the fabric skims her waist and hips, clinging just enough to hint at contour and then letting imagination do the rest. Bathed in gold, she looks luminous, calm, assured, and absolutely in command of the moment. She pivots in the next shot, and the slit turns bolder, rising to the hip to show a single long line of leg. One hand settles near the opening, fingers grazing the edge as if to say, "Yes, we meant this." The dress fits like it was drafted to her, celebrating every curve without shouting. Comments flood in, fearless. Goddess energy. Because the styling leaves nothing accidental and everything intentional, then the envelope edges forward. Leaning against a marble pillar, she shifts the dress a breath to one side and arches, revealing a flash of hip and upper thigh that most red carpets wouldn't dare. The satin becomes almost fluid, where light passes through a sheer layer, sketching a soft curve behind it. Her hair falls in loose, vintage cinema waves, adding old Hollywood sheen to this modern wink. But it's not only the wardrobe. The shot lives in her expression. Chin angled, lips parted in a knowing half-smile, eyes bright with mischief. Courtney reads as someone fully aware of the effect and choosing it on purpose. The vibe is artful celebration, not shock for shock's sake. It's body and agency in the same breath. Poolside, the palette shifts. She reappears in a whisper-thin metallic bikini, triangles tied cleanly at the neck and back, matching strings riding high on the hips to carve that hourglass. Propped at the pool's edge, water beads and trails along her midline, catching the sun and mapping muscle and curve as she lifts through the shoulders. For a second, with light glittering across her skin, she looks like she stepped out of the water with a halo. Hair slicked straight back. There's nowhere to hide and no need to. Makeup stays minimal. Mascara to frame the eyes, a gleam of gloss, a kiss of bronzer that echoes the warm tones of late afternoon. The choice keeps the focus on line and light, letting her features do the talking while the camera handles the punctuation. A few frames later, the energy loosens. She laughs mid-turn, the bikini catching sun as ripples distort the reflections, an easy, spontaneous moment that feels like an outtake and lands like a favorite. In another, she stands at the ladder with one foot lifted and one hand at the rail, shoulders relaxed, gaze steady. These aren't poses performed. They're moments lived, movement, breath, and a little spark of play. Zoom in on the craft and you see why it works. The slip's bias cut moves when she does. The slit creates negative space that lengthens the leg. The satin's sheen is placed to sculpt, not glare. Poolside, the high-set ties elongate, while the metallic finish throws just enough light to trace definition without overwhelming the scene. Every detail, strap placement, hem angle, even the choice of stone underfoot, serves the picture's architecture. Loved this breakdown? Drop a comment with your standout shot. Tap like if Courtney's set gave you a confidence kick, and subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into the most unforgettable celebrity photo moments. Remember, when you wear it with pride, every body is a masterpiece in motion.